Chiefs Kingdom, ACU crew. Welcome back. A little podcast, a little live for that ass today. Just talking a little bit about what the Chiefs are doing, what they're preparing for. You've seen it on the cover today. The Chiefs, a new tight end with the Chiefs. This has been reported. Aaron Wilson said sources, the Chiefs are working out tight ends Isaiah Gathings and EJ Jenkins today. A lot of people are asking, what about Zach Ertz? Zach Ertz. I don't know what's going on with Zach Ertz. Nobody has put in for this guy. Nobody has wanted to bring him in. I have no idea why a guy of his talent is not being looked at. There has to be something going on behind the scenes. There's got to be some kind of injury concern. There's got to be an attitude concern. Something's going on. Nobody's touching Zach Ertz right now, and I have no idea why. You would think the Chiefs would have thought that was a decent idea, especially with Blake Bell not doing much this year. A lot of people blaming him for that, that pick the other day in the last game. You have so many problems here. We got Jody Fortson that he can't stay healthy. So I don't know, but they just had Garrett Prince. We all remember Garrett Prince. He went to IR. They put him on the injured list from the practice squad, and they activated Cole Christensen to the practice squad. And then, of course, they put Deion Bush on the 53-man roster, and that freed up a space on the 16-man practice squad. With Garrett Prince getting injured, Veach likes to keep a couple tight ends on the practice squad. So he's got Bushman there. Now, I will say this. If something happens and you need a tight end, it's going to be Bushman. It's not really going to be either of these guys. But they did work out Isaiah Gathings, who did play for the Chiefs. He played for the Chiefs during training camp and in the preseason. He was released at the 53-man roster cut down. They also brought in EJ Jenkins. I would say that Gathings probably has the edge over EJ Jenkins. The thing about EJ Jenkins is he went to Georgia Tech. He was a wide receiver. They converted him to tight end. He spent some time with the Jets and the Eagles. I think in the preseason he had 21 yards, 3 catches, and a touchdown. So I think Veach is doing some due diligence here, but you do have Bushman. They probably will put Gathings on the practice squad. This is all kind of significant because if you guys remember in the last game against the Patriots, Kelsey left the game for just a little bit with a stinger. He had a stinger in his elbow. So is that a problem? Probably not. Should we watch it? Probably. Kelsey's getting a little older. He's no spring chicken here. We all know how that works. I can barely get out of the bed in the morning, so everything hurts. Everything takes a little bit more time to heal when you get a little older. That's the way it is, and we just got to deal with it, I guess. But yeah, so the Chiefs are looking at a couple tight ends today. It's been reported. Neither has been signed as of the time of this recording. It could happen any second. Who knows? But good to talk with you guys today. I'm here by myself. If you notice, Steve's at work. I thought I'd get on here and talk some Chiefs with you guys on a Tuesday. Is today Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. I'm on here on a Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. I've lost my mind. The season has been a blur. YouTube's been wild this year. Everything's been wild, but we're managing it. We're getting through it. We're gonna get through it together, and we're figuring this out. This is not the kind of season I don't think a lot of Chiefs fans thought we were gonna have. I don't think it's the kind of season Chiefs fans want and have wanted. But I will tell you this. Sometimes adversity creates good character, and maybe it'll pay off in the end. And hopefully it will pay off in the end. We'll get us a nice little win streak going. We can get all this figured out. We can get a push going in the playoffs. And hopefully, repeat back-to-back champs. Thanks for everybody for being here. I see Chris Wright. I see Cobra Kai. What's up, brother? Ray, Kathy, Chiefer, the usuals here. And I love you guys. And I thank you guys for showing up, hanging out with me for a little bit. I'm going to get to your questions in a minute. We'll just start taking questions right off the rip. But I'll say this. We've all seen the news about Skyy Moore yesterday going to IR. Apparently he hurt his knee. They said it barely swole up. So apparently he hurt his knee. It barely swole up. But magically, he's now going to the IR for 4 weeks. He's going to be gone for the rest of the regular season, 4 weeks on the IR. This doesn't pass the smell test, in my opinion. Is Skyy Moore really injured? Possibly. Is he injured enough to go in the IR? I don't know. I think what's happened is Skyy Moore has been given opportunities this year to step up. Everybody thought he was going to step up in year 2, and Skyy Moore continuously disappoints. He disappoints. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if there's a disconnect. I don't know if he's not getting the playbook. I don't know if he's running his routes lazy. It's all the above. But Skyy Moore is just not getting there, and he's not getting there fast enough. Now, granted, Kadarius Toney sucked this year. Kadarius Toney has been he's been absolutely horrific. From the preseason to when they called him a number 1 to being injured in the first 5 minutes of training camp. He starts the season with a 29.7 PFF grade on offense and just single-handedly causes the Detroit Lions to get a win in week 1. He bounces back for a few weeks. His snaps start magically dwindling halfway through the season. Then he comes back in for the last few weeks and he gets that penalty against Buffalo, throws the whole game out. Then last week against New England, he causes another pick. He had a 57.9 offense PFF grade against New England. This is the lowest PFF grade Toney has had in his 3-year career, and it's not even close. He's 10 points lower than he was in his rookie season with the Giants. So Kadarius Toney is struggling. And I do know that Skyy Moore is struggling. But at this point, MVS, Kadarius Toney, Skyy Moore, it does not matter. Somebody just needs to go. And whether you're on the IR, whatever you're on, you still should be on the bench. At this point, I'm ready to give the majority of the snaps to Richie James, Justin Watson, and then we're going to let Rashee Rice, obviously, continue to expand his role. And then I think we got to give Ross a chance. I think it's time to see what we got with Ross. It's the 3 yards. It's Richie, Ross, and Rice. I think that's who we should run with. We should have J-Watt in there when we need to move the chains a little bit. Let J-Watt come in, stretch the field. That's who Patrick trusts. Sometimes he'll throw it into tight coverage with him. That's what I think. I think you got to let Richie play a little bit more. You got to see what you got, Richie James. I think you got to see what you got with Ross. The hype has been there, and look, I get it. It's all hype. It's all hype. That's all it is. He's not proven anything, but we got to get him out there and just see what he can do. We seen him catch a few contested catches earlier. He caught a great one against Minnesota. He had a few nice catches. Mahomes was starting to trust him a little bit. Then he went through all of his issues. But I think you got to see what you got. You got to see what you got, because we can't afford to just not – we can't afford to have the unknown again and then go back in the training camp, and maybe Brett Veach makes a move for a receiver. Maybe he don't. Maybe he stays cheap and stingy, and then we're right back in the same situation. Do we take 5 wide? Do we take 6? Do we take 7? I'm tired of it. How about we find 5 or 6, preferably 5, that are really good? Let's get them in the rotation, and let's go. That's it. And I think this is a wake-up call to Skyy Moore. I don't think he's fully injured. I think the Chiefs are sending him a wake-up call. They said, look, buddy, go take a seat for 4 weeks. Assess your life. Reassess what you want to do with yourself. Are you going to get it together? Are you going to study the playbook? Are you going to work? Are you going to get on the right page and the same page as Mahomes? What are you going to do? When the playoffs come, we'll reactivate you. You'll play a few snaps here and there, but you better make them work. And if they don't, this could be the end of Skyy Moore and KC. At the end of this season, they can start shopping him the same way the Giants shopped Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney was a first-round pick. So Skyy Moore's not invincible at being a second-round pick. You're not invincible from being traded. If you're not going to produce, this is a win-now league. Skyy Moore has to produce. Steve likes Skyy Moore. Heck, I even thought Skyy Moore would have come on this year a little bit. He shows flashes. Now, do I think they use him perfectly the way he's supposed to be used? No. But at the same time, Andy Reid, he's shown that you got to play everywhere. Do I think that Rashee Rice is developing? Yes, he's developing. But they're also using Rashee Rice in the way he's supposed to be. Limited packages. He's running a lot of snaps, but they're all the same few packages. Skyy just don't have it. He's a catch after the ball or run after the catch kind of guy. He's a short, make something happen kind of guy. He's not going to win huge receiver battles. He's not going to beat people down the field. He's very limited. I don't even know why the Chiefs decided that was a good idea in the first place, but they did. And I think this is just another case of Veach playing with fire and got burnt again on the wide receiver. I don't know how else you defend it. I don't know. I'm tired of throwing out defenses for these receivers. They don't deserve them. MVS is not earning his paycheck. He has had a crappy year. He needs to just be sitting. And again, Ross, he probably does better in the slot, to be honest. He's probably getting open against linebackers and safeties more than he's going to get over against good cover corners, because he's not necessarily quick out of his breaks. He's not necessarily fast. He's just a guy that's going to overpower you. He's a big possession receiver. That's what he is, with big play potential. I hope it's good. But yeah, I think this is a wake-up call for Skyy Moore. I'm serious. I think this is a wake-up call, and when he comes back, he's going to get very, very limited opportunities. And by the way, if Justin Ross turns it on, if J. Watt turns it on, if Rashee Rice continues to get better and better, there may be no opportunities when he comes back, and he may have just played himself out of Kansas City. That's all I'm saying. Do I root for the kid? Yes, I root for the kid. I don't want anybody to fail. I don't want anybody to struggle and fail. And like, we drafted him. He's been here his whole career. He's a good kid. He's nice. He's a good guy. But come on, you got to perform. Nice and good only get you so far. Like, this is a win now league. You got to get it done. And that's what. Enrique, is it even legal to send a player to IR if he's not injured? Yeah, you can't. But I'm just saying, he does have an injury. He's got an injury. So, and I mean, there probably is an injury there. Is it as severe to put him on the IR? No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's a wake-up call, and I think it's a way to get people in. Some other stuff. We've seen Justin Houston get dropped today from the Panthers. Everybody, there's a few people saying they'd like to see a reunion here. Look, I wouldn't be opposed to it. And somebody's like, who would you cut? Who would you cut for this? There's a few guys. I mean, come on. I'd consider cutting Blake Bell. I mean, I know you need the tight end depth, but I would consider cutting Blake Bell to bring him up if you need be. Technically, I don't think you need another defensive end on the roster. I think we're pretty set with it, but it can't hurt to have a rotational pass guy. Justin Houston's still got a little bit of gas in the tank, but I think the bridges have been burned in Kansas City, and I don't really see it happening. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. Would I be opposed to it? No. Do I think it's necessary? No. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. And by probably not, probably 90% chance not. Because while he's been available several times and the Chiefs have not shown much interest, again, him and the upper management kind of had a falling out. I wish they'd get over it, to be honest. I wish they'd get over it. I wish they would have a nice little reunion story. I wish he'd come back. I wish they'd find a way to make him work. I mean, there's several guys you could kind of cut, delegate down to the practice squad, and I think you'd be fine with it. And I think that maybe he could contribute just a tiny bit in pass rushing situations, but wouldn't it be just a cool story to have the Chiefs mend fences with Justin Houston, let him come back, go back to back, coming from the ashes to get back and win a Super Bowl and repeat after the season we've had and have Justin Houston help it. That would just be a cool story. That's what you see in Disney movies. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But that's the three big news stories. A Skyy, we're looking at tight ends, and it's not Zach Ertz. And then Justin Houston getting cut. It says he wants to go to a contender. I don't know. If Zach Ertz isn't getting shown any interest, I don't know if Justin Houston gets shown any interest. He could end back up in Baltimore. I think he kind of wanted to stay in Baltimore, but then again, they didn't offer him this past season, so we'll see. I appreciate you guys being here, though. I really do. I appreciate you being with me here. It's about 4 o'clock here on the East Coast. I appreciate you being here in the middle of your day. If you don't care, hit that like button. We're at 70. I'd like to push it to 100. If I could get 100 likes in a 3 o'clock spot in the middle of the day on YouTube talking Chiefs football, that's insane. That's showing the power of the ACU crew, showing the power of Chiefs football. We're the world's team right now, baby. The world's team. And it's showing. It's showing, and I appreciate you guys being here. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Do you think we should look at Ertz? Do you think, what's the reason Ertz is not being signed? What do you guys think? Also, let me know if you think Justin Houston might actually be looked at by the Chiefs. Don't think he will. And let me know also about Skyy Moore. Do you think he's done in KC? Do you think he's really injured? What do you think there? I'm curious about these three situations. But yeah, also drop some stuff in the chat if you don't care. Drop some likes, some comments. Just stick with me here. Let's talk some Chief football. And while you guys are doing that, I just wanted to shout this out today. Our friends over at FOCO, we partner with FOCO. And again, if you've been around, you know this, but just today, they have put up a pre-order for the Patrick Mahomes limited edition bobblehead. There's only going to be 123 of these bad boys made. Yeah. So if you guys want to, follow the link in the description. Go over there, get yourself one of these. There's only 123 of them. Let FOCO know that the ACU crew backs their decision to partner with FOCO. That's all I gotta say. I'm actually gonna throw the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Look, I'll throw that up. You guys can do that. Follow it. You can even use Chiefed Up 10 for 10% off. It says all in-stock items. So I don't know if that works for pre-orders. You can try it. If not, I'm pretty sure you can just put in your email address. They'll give you 10% off your first order anyway. So yeah, just use our link down there. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you. And grab yourself a Patrick Mahomes bobblehead. That's pretty cool, actually. I hope they send me one. But yeah, let's get back to some football here. What do you guys think? Let's go to the comments. Ray says we should give Ertz a look. I think a lot of Chiefs Kingdoms believes that we should give Ertz a look. I was under the impression I didn't think he would clear waivers, but he did. Then it's been weeks now, and nobody's picking him up, and the Chiefs aren't even looking at him, and it's kind of strange. He's a little older, but I don't think he necessarily can't perform. He's played in similar systems, if not maybe the same one. I'm not for sure. Very close. I mean, come on, just Andy Reid's pretty much a West Coast offense. I believe I believe there's something going on behind the scenes we don't know about. But yeah, I'm curious as to why they don't give Ertz a look, but honestly, who knows at this point? We probably just don't have enough money to sign him. That's always the excuse. Chiefer says Justin Houston seems unlikely. I also believe that. I also believe that. I would love to see it. Again, I'd love to see it, but I just don't think it's going to get there. Pink Lady 0205. Good to see you guys. There's a lot of names in the chat I have not seen before. So if you guys are new here, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Help us get to 20K subs, trying to get there by the end of the season. And we're on our way. We're almost to 19K. Appreciate that. And usually I got my brother here. We have a little podcast style. We talk to each other. We answer questions. We're building a community here of Chiefs fans. follow. Come along for the ride, baby. We're in the early stages. It's about to go crazy. It's about to blow up. Pink Lady says, Skyy can kick rocks with open-toe shoes on. That's a lot of sentiment in Chiefs Kingdom. He's lost a lot of trust. I seen some people comparing him to Clyde today. And then I seen some people saying, well, Clyde was actually just thrown in really early, and Skyy Moore has had time to build, and Skyy was at LSU, and he's at Central Michigan, wherever he went to college. At this point, I've lost my ability to care. But, yeah, I think there's merit to a little bit of all of it. Yes, Skyy Moore, the learning curve was a little different, and Clyde had a monster rookie year. But he's fell out of good graces with the Chiefs fans till recently. Good to see everybody jumping back on the Clyde train again. I seen a thing today about Clyde possibly being used as a wide receiver. Good grief, at this point, who cares? If Matt Nagy can play wide receiver and he's got better hands, put him out there. I mean, well, then again, nobody likes Matt Nagy either, apparently, so how about not? Maybe he can catch the ball better and he can coach the offense. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, Pink Lady, thanks for the comment. And yeah, a lot of people believe that. I'm kind of on the fence with Skyy Moore still. I still think if Skyy Moore's used properly, and by used properly, four catches a game, 4 targets a game, and they're all screen passes. They're all maybe a little bit of running back, like we see with Kadarius Toney out of the backfield. Skyy's kind of built like a running back. Some bubble screens, some quick slants, things like that. I don't want to see Skyy doing anything other than that, and I don't think he's a caliber receiver at this point in his career to have any more than 2-3 targets a game, unless he's producing and actually getting it going. But how they're using him now just don't work. So if you're going to keep using him like this, yeah, he's gone. There's no point. There's no use in him. There's just no use in him. Bobby, what's up, Bobby? Hope you're a subscriber. Appreciate you being here. Bobby T-Bag. Love the name. KT over MVS. I'm still at that point too. I'm tired of MVS. If MVS never played another snap in a Kansas City Chief uniform, I don't care. He stinks. Like, to me, he's a waste of money. He's arrogant. I don't like his attitude. And again, Rashard Mendenhall would say, white boys talking about football, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Just shut up. That's the attitude. That's the attitudes of losers. That's all it is. Rashard Mendenhall was a loser. All these people are losers. That's all they are. They think nobody can critique them because they're God's gift to the world because they can play a child's game. Okay? You can be critiqued. I'm sure you critique your mechanic when he can't fix your car, or your car manufacturer when it breaks down for the 15th time. Yeah, buddy, you can't put together a car, but you can critique it. So guess what? I might not be able to run a 4.440, but I can critique you getting paid $33 million to do something. How about that? Do your job, buddy. But yes, KT over MVS. I give a little slack to KT because I think KT is dynamic with the ball in his hands. I really do. Like, he's special with the ball in his hands to a certain degree. He has shown that he can be a little fumble prone. He can be a little loose with the football. But I think there's something there. I just don't know how much there is and if the reward outweighs the risk at this point. Like, to me, I feel like he's becoming more of a liability week to week. Mahomes is losing trust in him more week to week. It's starting to get crazy. But yeah, I do put KT a little bit above MVS for who I'd rather see here next year. But if both of them win, I don't really care. I really don't. Aaron B, what's up, Aaron? I think the hour thing with Skyy was a warning to him. Like you said, he may get one more chance, but if he can just screw up around, he's gone. Yeah, Aaron, I think so. I feel like it's a wake-up call, man. I think they're like, look, buddy, it's now or never. Crap or get off the pot, as the saying goes. And that's the way it is. Let's go down the list here. Let's find some more, baby. Cobra Kai. He says, I'm hoping maybe Justin Ross can bring some spark, and for God's sake, why isn't Noah Gray out more? We need Kelsey's mini-me out there. Cobra Kai, we kind of said that from the beginning, that we thought this was a big year for Noah Gray, and we thought they could use him. And boy, he started the season pretty hot. He done pretty well in the first week against Detroit when Kelsey had to sit. I think Noah Gray needs more targets. I think when Noah Gray's in the offense, and again, I've seen going around Twitter, a few people bigger than we are, with more followers, they're starting to learn the game of football a little bit. They're starting to say things like, formations. They're starting to talk about 12 personnels and different things. And I'm glad we've all figured out what the 12 personnel is. I'm so happy that we've learned this. And it just took, a few bigger people than us to say it a few times, then people actually figured it out. A 12 personnel is when you have 2 tight end sets. Okay, so we do need that. And the Chiefs do routinely run 2 tight end sets. They used to do it with Fortson and Kelsey. They'll do it with Kelsey and Bell. Kelsey and, now it needs to be Noah Gray a lot. Noah Gray needs to be out there. And God forbid we run the 13 personnel, and that gives us 3 tight ends, because that could be nasty. I'm telling you, that could be a cheat code if you get a tight. Like, imagine if you brought up Bushman. Think about this one. We don't use Blake Bell enough as a blocker, in my opinion. Maybe 4, 5, 6, 10 plays a game max might he block. He doesn't really catch the ball. He's kind of a liability in the pass game. He's not really explosive or anything. Imagine if you put Bushman out there, who's been shown that he's a little quicker. He's a little more agile. He's got probably better hands. Imagine if you had some 13 personnel with Kelsey, Bushman, Noah Gray out there. I think that could be like some fun stuff to watch. I would love to see Bushman get called up and us run some 3 tight end sets. The same way we could have used Fortson. But yeah, Cobra Kai, I appreciate it. And I do agree. Well, when it comes to Ross, I'll talk about Ross a little bit too. I'm under the impression here that Ross will get some snaps. I don't think it's immediately going to go to 10, 15, 20 plus snaps. I bet you he stays under 10 snaps his first game out. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I think they'll ease him back in just a little bit, get him back in game shape. And I hope he just makes the most of his opportunities. That's all he can do. I don't think he's going to be like a game changer. I don't think Ross is just going to come in and just set the world on fire and this is going to be the solution, the end-all be-all to our problems. I think the Chiefs receiver room is what it is, man. It's mediocre. They're going to continue to struggle. Look, they're making the same mental mistakes in Week 15 as they were making in Week 1. And a lot of people say, we took a lot of heat even the other day after the game. Some of our supporters, longtime supporters, our boy Jack Green, he come and he's like, can y'all just ever be positive? Can you have anything positive to say? We won and you guys aren't positive. You guys are just negative all the time. You can perceive it as that. I said I'm happy we won and there was positives. I thought there was a lot of positives. I thought Clyde looked good. I thought Mahomes had one of the best games he had played all year, and I thought the defense looked really good. But you can't excuse the fact that Travis Kelce, alligator armed a touchdown, faked the flop, had a pretty overall terrible game. You can't excuse the fact that KT's still making the same mental mistakes he was making in Week 1. And I think that's just the sentiment here. It's like, I'm happy we're winning and I'm happy we're getting together, but look, they're still not on a championship. They're not playing at a championship level right now. And to me, I can live with some drops here and there. I can live with you running a wrong route here and there. But don't compound the mistake. If you drop it, don't bobble the ball up and flip it up in the air and get it picked off. Just drop the frickin' ball. Just drop it, okay? I would like for you not to, but whatever. If you're going to run the wrong route, don't run the wrong route, and then when Mahomes throws it, you decide you don't even want to chase the ball down and try to break up the pick, or you don't want to run hard, or just whatever you want to do. Don't compound mistakes with more mistakes. That's it. But otherwise, I can live with mistakes here and there. But it's the mental mistakes that's still being the problem. Jawan Taylor jumping every single time in the red zone, blowing scoring opportunities. Kadarius Toney continuing to do stupid stuff. Mental mistakes over and over and over. That's the part that's inexcusable. These guys are professionals. Act like it. This is Week 15. Like, Andy's a good coach. Andy can run a tight ship, but Andy cannot come out there and do every single thing for you. Like, we shouldn't have to hold your hand at this level. You should not have to have your hand being held. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not really, in my opinion, it's not negative. It's just frustration that we cannot stop. We are still the world champs until it's crowned again this year. And if you think we're playing like world champs, you're out of your mind. I get wanting to be positive. And I get, season's not over. I get the rah-rah, hoopty-ha. But daggone it. Like, at some point, you got to hold the team a little bit accountable. We're not cheerleaders. We're fans. Cheerleaders get paid to always be happy. Put your little skirt on, wave the pom-pom, and just be happy that you're there. Fans don't have to do that, man. Fans can hold their team accountable, man. Nothing defines fans. I've seen some of the most diehard fans in the world. You guys remember the movie? You remember the movie Major League? Those 3 guys that sat out there in right field and heckled? Dude, those were the ultimate fans. And our groups out here would be like, you're all bandwagoners. You guys are stupid. They don't, rah, this and that. And it's like, no, those guys were heckling because they cared, man. Fans care. You got to care a little bit. And I get it. It don't affect my personal life. Well, it does now, but it didn't used to. But that's just me, man. I've always grew up competitive, and I want to win, man. I want the Chiefs to win, and we sucked for so long that now that we got a taste of it, keep that championship mentality, man. Don't fall back into that just happy to be here kind of mentality, because that don't get you much in life, man. It really don't. But yeah, let's go through. Let's answer some more stuff, man. Oregon Fishing, what's up, brother? He says, aren't playing great yet. Until they don't turn it on come playoff time, I will believe it will happen. This is what I'll say about that, Oregon. I'm totally down. Do I believe if this team gets in the playoffs, and they should, I don't think there's no way. We pretty much locked up the division because Denver, choked last week and this and that. So I think that's gone. I think we're pretty much going to win the division. And we're in the playoffs, obviously. There's like a 98% chance. If Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, you can give Patrick Mahomes a peewee football team, but if you can get him in the playoffs, I have faith that he can win 3 or 4 games. That's all they have to do is have a 4-game win streak, and they can look good. Matter of fact, Patrick Mahomes can carry you those 3 or 4 games, even if your guys don't look very good. So if we get there, yeah. I'm not saying we don't have a chance, but there's been no signs, in my opinion. And again, I get it. Everybody's just wanting to hoop and holler and just be positive, and I'm all for it. I'm just saying from a grounded, I don't want to say analyst because we're not analysts. I don't want to say talking head. I mean, I guess technically, but we don't really have enough influence to be that kind of thing. But just from looking at it from a grounded view, I've not seen anything that tells me that we can flip the switch. Like, what's the flip the switch? The only thing that flips the switch is erase mental errors and the wide receivers decide to not play like a bunch of turds. That's the flip the switch. And to be honest, the receivers are who they are. I don't think anything gets better. I guess Kadarius Toney could stop dropping balls. That would be great. Or, I don't know. Maybe Justin Ross does turn out to be okay. What's MVS going to do? He's never showed anything. He won half of one game. So I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know what we have to do to flip the switch. If it's all mental, then yeah, you can do it. If it's just that we don't have enough talent, and which I don't know necessarily if we don't have enough talent, but I do know our wide receiver room's not up to par. I don't know if we have one guy in our wide receiver core that would even start for another team beyond Rashee Rice, and he's a rookie, and we know how that works. Sometimes rookies don't even get to play a lot, so who knows? But I don't know. We'll see. I hope that they can flip the switch and do something. But yeah, Dissident here. I hope that I pronounced that right. The Bills flipped the switch. Yes, they did. You seen how they rallied when their season and they were up against the wall. You seen how they've turned it on, and boy, they flipped it. They've turned it. Now again, that whole Chiefs game, Kadarius Toney's toe, they could have very easily ended their season instantly. But, breaks go the way breaks go, and football's a game of inches, and it's week in, week out. But the Bills have found a way to win. They found a way to do it, and now they're starting to get their confidence back, and they're going. We keep thinking we're seeing this with the Chiefs, and we're going to have that go-to moment, and they're just not showing it. But I'm hoping they get it. I hope they get it. And I'm with you, Oregon, a little bit. I have a little bit of faith that they will find it. I'm just saying it's hard. I don't see a lot that tells me they have it. But, the heart wants what the heart wants. And we want the Chiefs to do well. Again, if you guys don't care, hit that like button for me. Let's update the likes. Let's see what we got. Are we close to 100 yet? Oh, baby, we're at 142. I love it. I appreciate it. Let's get to 150. Let's get to 150. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. Click that bell. Be with us. Here in a few weeks, I want to say today's the 19th. Let me find this really quick. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. In 15 days, so in about 2 weeks, we will be able to reapply for monetization on YouTube. The 3-month prison sentence will be completed. Will they actually turn it over to a human and not a robot and reinstate us? Jury's out on that one. But we have hope, and if they get it flipped, then guess what? The content gets back going. Once we recover financially, which might be a few extra weeks, but still, we're going to be back on the right track. Everybody's going to get their memberships back. We'll get our emojis back. We can start donating. We can start sending out, subscribers and everything. And it's going to feel like good old times. And by the way, we're going to get it back right in time for the playoffs. And we're going to run through the playoffs here. We're getting in. We're going to have our Mahomes magic moment. And we're going to have a good one. And even if we don't, it's still going to be a good time. But yeah, the content's going to kick up. So hit that subscribe button if you don't care. Stick around and join us for the ride. It's a fun one. It's a fun one. We have a good time doing this. Also, again, you can do donations below in the meantime. It's in the description. Also, you can buy some merch.allchiefedup.com. We got a lot of stuff. We got some Christmas hoodies. We got everything. The Christmas hoodie is actually selling out pretty good. We've had a few people sending us pictures of these. People love them. I think at this point, you probably don't get it before Christmas, but you know what? Who cares? You can wear that bad boy next year. Maybe you got a late office Christmas party. You want to show your Chiefsmas spirit. Who knows? But everything's in the description. And also, again, visit our friends at FOCO. Check out some stuff. We get a little bit of kickback on that. And they took a chance on us, and we appreciate them for it. And we know you guys will help us through them. And that's all we can ask for, man. Trey Smith, part of FOCO. You know, Creed Humphrey, part of FOCO. We're part of FOCO. I love it. It's fun. Let's get back to some comments really quick. Let's get back to a few comments and see what's up. Ronald says, do the Chiefs have enough money to sign Zach Ertz? That's a good question. That's a great question. And honestly, I don't know. Let me go online right now and see what our current salary cap situation is. If I'm not mistaken, our current salary cap, we have an estimated $3.3 million of cap space for 2023, according to spotrac.com. I don't know how they say it. Is it Spotrac? Is it Spotrac? What a weird thing. Like I always thought for the longest time, my, what's that called? When you don't see things right, you know, and you get numbers out of dyslexic. My dyslexia kicks in sometimes. For the longest time, I thought it said sport, SPORTAC. But now I'm realizing it says spot. What in the world? Okay, but they're saying 3.3 estimated cap space, and our total cap number right now is at $217 million. Our maximum salary cap is $220. So we got $3 million. Would Ertz come in for $3 million? I don't know. I don't know if he's even worth $3 million. I mean, I think they got enough money to make something work. Will they? I don't think so. I think the Chiefs are. I think Brett Veach is kind of. I think Brett Veach has accepted that maybe he missed the mark a little bit, but I think he's also accepted that, hey, we're still in a rebuild. Can't win them all every year. I get it. Personally, I think he's wasting a Patrick Mahomes prime year. Not to say Patrick Mahomes not going to have 10 more prime years, but I want to win as much as I can. And yeah, I do think he knows he's kind of dropped the ball a little bit. And a lot of people are saying, well, the year's not over. True. But we all know, win or lose, that by the end of the year, no matter if we even win a Super Bowl, you can admit that we won a Super Bowl in spite of the wide receiver core, not because of the wide receiver core. And so he's always going to have that miss. And again, I think he knows it, and I think he'll correct it, and I think he may overcorrect it in the offseason. So it is what it is. I think he'll be fine. And I think he's just, I think he's set on the roster. I don't think he's going to do any crazy moves. I don't know. I don't know if he'll do it. About time. What's up, brother? He says it's bringing back the Nigerian Nightmare and option. I don't know. Something tells me he could still put some pads on and rumble in for a yard touchdown. Maybe. We'll see. Sports Fan 2020 cut MVS. If I was Brett Veach, I would have had a hard time not cutting MVS already. I'd had a hard time. I mean, I'm sure there's something to do with the salary cap and the dead money and this and that it just don't really make sense. But I mean, I'm telling you, it's one of those things that just, his attitude annoys me, man. Like, come on. It's just horrible. But it is what it is. Cobra Kai says, Mike, YouTube has sided with the NFL. The Chiefs and their fans are getting the most extreme punishment. You're right, dude. You're right. They wouldn't have attacked us if we were a Dallas site, I don't guess. About Time says, ACU, I accidentally ran across the channel they compared y'all to, and I was like, WTF, who are these phonies? Who was it? Who'd they compare us to? Are you meaning like YouTube recommended another channel off of us? they think that they claim that like our content. They said our content we're not original. Like we're copying another guy that looks just like me and talks about the Chiefs religiously. I have no idea what they're talking about. They never knew what they were talking about either. But it's almost over, and I don't even care anymore. But Chief Kelsey, yes, he says for 3 games left, yes, you could sign Ertz. We probably could. What would he take? Ertz may take, what? I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about what he would take, but I don't think they will. They could be. Gamer Player 3000, why are we always in a bad cap space situation? Other than Mahomes, who's getting the money? Mahomes wants wide receivers, cop up some cap space. So Mahomes' contract is big. He's really, really big. But his contract does allow them to have some moving things. So, for example, this year, you get a $220 million maximum salary cap, almost 220.5, somewhere in that range. Mahomes holds $37 million of that cap. They didn't get anything redone with Chris Jones. And everybody was like, oh, they needed money. No, if you would have got something done with Chris Jones, you'd have actually freed up some cap space this year, probably next year, maybe even into the third year, because you would have probably just back-ended it, let him retire here and see what it is. But as it sits now, nothing got done, and his cap hit is now at 26.8. So Patrick Mahomes is making $37 million this year on the cap. Chris Jones is about 27. So those two players by themselves is $60 million, somewhere in that ballpark, 60 to 70 million. Kelsey is making basically $15 million on the cap this year. And then after those three, which are the three? Those are the 3 pillars. And then Andy makes the 4 pillars. So they're best 3 players that the Chiefs build around. That's where their top 3 money's going. Now, this is where Brett Veach started to miss. They restructured Tooney. Tooney is now $13.4 million. I'm pretty sure before the restructure, Tooney was higher than that this offseason. I'm not for sure. Don't hold me to that. But I'm pretty sure that it come down a little bit this year. But Tooney's making 13.4. Is it worth it for Joe Tooney? Probably. I mean, I would say he's probably the best left guard in the game. If not, he's top 3. You've got, there's some guys that's very arguable. But yeah, Joe Tooney's, top 3, top 5 guard in the game. 13.4 million. It's a little steep, but it's not. This is where it gets a little weird. Justin Reed makes almost 13 million. I love Justin Reed. I think the contract wasn't great. I don't know if he's worth 13 million per year. But look, MVS is next on the list at 11 million. And I'd gladly give Justin Reed 13 million if MVS makes 11. So see, 2 offseason acquisitions. And Brett Veach kind of overpaid both of them, in my opinion. Now, I still like Justin Reed, and I think he's very serviceable. Is he playing like 13 million? Probably not. He's probably playing closer to the 9 to 10 million range. But it's not horrible. It's not horrible. I really like Justin Reed. I think he's smart. I like his personality. He likes our channel. We may be the only channel he hasn't blocked on X. I like Justin Reed. But the cap situation, it's kind of weird when, a strong safety you picked up 2 years ago is now your 5th highest cap hit. That's just odd to me in a way. MVS at 11 million, that's way too much cap hit for that bum. Dude, I don't even know. Now look, if they cut him right now, I think his dead cap goes to almost 13 million. So they can't cut him. There it is. That's why. He holds 5% of our cap. His dead cap number is 12.66. So, I mean, they would still have to fork over $13 million in dead cap. So that's why he's on the team. But you know what? Don't cost nothing to put him on the bench. Jawan Taylor. Was he an upgrade for Andrew Wiley? Yes, 1,000%. He's an upgrade. How much of an upgrade? I don't know. In pass blocking, he's probably he's probably 3 letter grades better in pass blocking. When it comes to mental mistakes, no. He's not. Wiley didn't have as many mental mistakes. Run blocking, Jawan Taylor's not a good run blocker. Andrew Wiley was probably a better run blocker. So was he worth whatever? 80 million, 60 million guaranteed. His cap hit this year is almost 6. So, I mean, it's not a lot, But that's another contract. That's 3 in a row. Reed, MVS, Jawan Taylor. Maybe Veach is overpaying some. I don't know why he's over. It's almost like he just spots his guys and boom, he goes out and throws them as much. And he don't want to compete with anybody. So he throws them a big number. Boom, let's get them in here. But I think at the end of the day, if that's the case, maybe he's missing on some of his evaluation. But Butker's right at the top of the list at $5 million. Oh, Minnie Hughes at $5 million. That's a new one coming in. And then Clyde is playing for $3.4 million on his final year. And then you got McDuffie at $3 million. So, I mean, it's a very cheap roster. Like, this is a cheap roster. Like, it's top weighted by, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in double digits. And they're all over 10 million. Then after that, it doesn't even get close to it. Like, it's right around 6. And then there's 2 guys, one at 6, one at 5. And then everybody else is under like 3. So I don't know. Brett Veach is putting together the roster the best way he knows. And I think Brett Veach does a great job. I love Brett Veach. He's a good GM. 1000%. But at the same time, he's got misses. Everybody has misses. You can't win them all. Let's answer a few more here. Jose, what's up, Jose? He says, how can the Eagles pay so many people and we can't get crap? It's really weird. Howie Rossman is a good, he's good at making things work. He really is. Let me take a look at their cap situation just for craps and giggles here. Let's see what's going on with them. The Eagles, okay. The Eagles still, with every player they got, still have $1.4 million in cap space. It's incredible how they work. So think about it. Mahomes was sitting at what, $35 million in cap? Their highest players were Lane Johnson at $14.7 million. Their next highest players was Darius Slay at $11.8. Then Jason Kelsey at $10.7. Then Brandon Graham at $10. AJ Brown's making $8.5 on the cap, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling is hogging 11 point something million. MVS is making $3 million more against the cap this year than AJ frickin' Brown. Let's think about that for a second. If that don't piss you off, and that don't tell you that Brett Veach may have made a mistake, it's okay to say that Brett Veach has made some mistakes. MVS is one. MVS should not be in the same ballpark as A.J. Brown, and yet A.J. Brown's making $3 million less on the cap hit this year. It's insanity. It's insanity. But what it looks like for them is they get a lot of players that just take good deals. They get a lot of players that just take good deals to go there. I guess Philadelphia is a sought-out city and a sought-out franchise, and even though Mahomes and Andy Reid and everybody's put us at the top of the list of prominence, apparently Kansas City don't hold much weight with free agents, and coming here to win one doesn't really work as well as we think it does, because everybody, at the end of the day, everybody just wants to get paid. They're not worried about rings. They all say it, and then where do they go? Every year, you see it. J.J. Watt leaves Pittsburgh. I'm going to get a ring. Or not Pittsburgh, the Texans. I want to get a ring. And then he signs with the Cardinals. Come on. D-Hop, I want to get a ring. Signs with the Titans. And again, D-Hop didn't get offered. Brett Veach should have figured out a way. And if Brett Veach wasn't paying MVS $11 million on the cap this year with a $17 million dead cap hit, you could have probably paid the guy. If you'd have got the Chris Jones contract done, instead of letting that run out to the end of time, you could have paid him there too. Because guess what? Yes, Chris Jones, that was stupid. But at the end of the day, Brett Veach ends up paying him almost the exact same thing. And we don't take nothing off the cap. Which if you would have just signed him to a 4 or 5 year deal, you'd have eased cap space for the next 2 to 3 years. You would have had money to throw at people. Is what it is. Darren, what's up, Darren? Says, Mike, I've been seeing other pods, your buddy Ryan, projecting that they're going to trade Jones next season. They've been harping on it hard. What do you think? I think big mistake. Are you talking about Ryan Tracy? RGR, hopefully. I don't know any other Ryans. I wish we could get Ryan back on the show. It's been a while. I like to hear his perspective. He thinks we're going to trade Jones next season. Well, the only way they trade Jones is to tag him and trade him. Okay. Chris Jones will be 31. Can you tag and trade a guy? Was somebody willing to give up 2 first-round picks for Chris Jones once you tag him? I don't know. Are they going to give up 2 first-round picks and then sign him to what he wants? I don't know. I think that's a pipe dream. I would much rather keep Chris Jones. Chris Jones, even when Chris Jones looks like he's invisible and he's not doing much, Chris Jones is actually doing a lot. Like he's drawing double teams, he's drawing triple teams, he's affecting that defense. I think Chris Jones does a lot. He showed no signs of slowing down this year. I still think he's got 3-4 really good years left. I don't see why you just don't sign him. Let's see if we can get him for 28, 29 million over the next 3 to 4 years. Back end it just a little bit and let's roll. I don't like the idea of trading Jones. I like Chris Jones here. If they decide they want to trade Chris Jones, I'm not going to burn my Chiefs gear. Like I think we will survive. We're the Chiefs. We're going to survive no matter what. But I don't like the idea. I would rather Chris Jones just be a lifer here. I think he's good. I think he's earned it. I think he wants to be here, and I like it. But I'm curious to see who Ryan would think would actually do that. Maybe a Chicago Bears team. Somebody, I don't know. But yeah, I'm a Chiefer. I don't want to see Chris Jones in a different. I really don't. I like him. I wish he would stay here. Yeah, I hope they get it done. I really do. But yeah, Chief Kelsey says no one even give up a first rounder if he's tagged at $33 million. The Chiefs don't have leverage. Exactly right, Chief Kelsey. It's exactly what I was just saying. I don't see how anybody does that. Are they going to be able to re-sign L'Jarius Sneed and Chris Jones? Probably not. Probably not. And I think L'Jarius Sneed has played the best football in his entire career this year. You know, for a few years, not saying L'Jarius Sneed's not good, but L'Jarius Sneed impacted the game a lot through blitzing and being a disruptor. And at the end of last season, somewhere around the Seahawks game, Spags said, look, we're changing our philosophy. You're going to shadow wide receiver 1 with L'Jarius Sneed. And since then, the defense looked good. Sneed stepped up to the plate. Sneed found a purpose. He found a confidence. It's carried into this year. He struggled a little bit in week 1 because I think the whole knee injury through training camp. And we critiqued him for it a little bit. We said, look, maybe Sneed's not ready to play. You know, what's going on? Sneed, in previous years, has led the league. When they throw to his receiver catches more balls than anybody in the league. He led the league with that, giving up the most catches. He leads the team every season in most missed tackles. But this year, none of that. He's cleaned it up. He's played very well. This is the best he's ever played in his career. L'Jarius Sneed has put himself on the map as a top-tier cover corner. He will be a coveted free agent. He's made himself a lot of money. Does Kansas City have a lot of money to throw at him? Probably not. If he don't take a big old fat hometown discount, by the way, his hometown is in New Orleans somewhere. The Chiefs are not a hometown discount kind of guy. Like, does he have a sentimental thing because we drafted him? Maybe. But it's the NFL. Everybody wants the money. We've already talked about this. Money's king. They're going to do it. It's a very limited window to make the money. They'll do it. This is his first big contract. Sneed's probably out unless the Chiefs give him a lot. If the Chiefs do give him a lot, then Chris Jones could be a casualty. Who knows? I think it's going to be hard to sign both of those. Can Veach make it happen? Maybe. Veach is kind of a wizard sometimes. So we'll see. I don't know, man. It kind of scares me that we're going to see a Chiefs defense next year that won't have Sneed and or Chris Jones together. It's weird. We've seen it now for 4 or 5 years, whatever. Sneed's played for, I think, 4. My brain's mush. But yeah, I don't know. If I had to choose between the two, honestly, I probably continue to take Chris Jones. Just because we're so deep at corner. Yeah, I think McDuffie, I think the Warden is a shutdown. He's a lockdown. He's going to be one of the top tier corners in all of football. He is right now, but he's going to be, I mean, that was a beautiful pick by Brett Veach. The only corner in the draft that I thought the Chiefs should have ever looked at, the only one I ever considered trading up for. And I actually said it the night before. Some guy said, hey man, let's trade up for Andrew Booth out of Clemson. I said, no. Do not like Andrew Booth. Do not want a Clemson corner. That's a waste. And I said, not saying he won't go get a corner, but if he does, it better be Trent McDuffie or nobody. And the next day they did it. So thanks to the burner account from Brett Veach reading my tweets. I appreciate you, brother. Let's get something done. Ronald, Jones over Snead for sure. Yeah, I feel like it. D133 corners replaceable. Someone like Jones is not. Exactly. That's my sentiment with it. Chris Jones is a top 10 player in the NFL. Voted on by his peers, passing the eye test, everything. Snead's good. Snead's not a top 10 player in the NFL right now. Could he be? Sky's the limit for Snead. The kid's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of grit, but he does. Sometimes he tackles with his head down a little bit, gets himself injured. Sometimes he gets himself out of position. Sometimes he's a little tight in the hip. Sometimes he won't turn his head around. Sometimes he gets a little grabby. Sometimes he misses when he's playing press coverage. Sometimes he just loses the receiver. We've seen him do it last week. We seen him lose the receiver last week. Who was it? Zappy just throws up a duck. Oh, it was Devontae Parker. Good. I mean, he just beats Devontae. Like, he just destroys Devontae Parker on the line. And then Zappy throws up a duck, and then somehow Snead stops playing, loses the ball, and he catches the ball for a first down. So, see, sometimes Snead will have those weird moments, but for the most part, like L'Jarius Snead, loved L'Jarius Snead. Wish he could be here, but I think he's made himself a lot of money, and I don't know if we have it. I don't. Cobra Kai says highest paid corner in the league is like $20 million a year right now. I bet we keep Snead around $15 million a year. Just a thought. I don't know what he'll ask for. If you remember, I wonder what Charvarius Ward. I can't think on the top of my head. What did Charvarius Ward sign for? Let me find those numbers really quickly. Charvarius Ward signed a 3 years, $40 million. Good night. Charvarius Ward got $12 million signing bonus, 26.6 guaranteed, was basically $27 million, and an average annual salary of 13.5. So look, Snead is better than Charvarius Ward. So yeah, you're going to have to look at 15 per year. So you're probably looking at 3 or 4 years at 13.5 average. So we'll just say 4 years. We'll say 4 years at, geez Louise. Okay, 13 point, let's do 15. 15 times 4 years. Okay, you're already at $60 million. You're going to have to give him some big money guaranteed. If Charvarius Ward was guaranteed at 26.6, Snead's probably at least securing that. He's probably securing more, but I'll throw it right there. Just to be generous, we'll just put it right at 27, which is right on it. And then a signing bonus of 12. So if I just match his number, that's 4 years, $99 million for a corner, in which we have drafted Josh Williams. We've drafted, everybody. Nick Jones this year. We haven't even got to see him play. He looked good. We haven't seen him. We've already got McDuffie. I don't see them paying 4 years, $99 million to L'Jarius Snead. Will somebody do it? Probably the freaking Raiders. It's always somebody within our division that'll do it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see it happening. I could be completely wrong. He may sign nowhere near that. It could be 3 years, 75. Maybe it's somewhere around that mark, but that's still a lot of money, man. Still a lot of money. Let's take a few more questions, and then I'm going to jump off here. Yeah, Chamari Connor. We drafted him too. D1. You're right, man. Looking at Chamari Connor, I feel more comfortable if Snead left. Agreed. So look, you have Connor. That's who we all thought they drafted to be a L'Jarius Snead kind of clone. You've got McDuffie. You've got Jalen Watson. You've got Josh Williams. You've got Nick Jones. Don't tell me the Chiefs aren't going to draft another one this year. They pretty much hit on Khalif Hallisy in the offseason. They let him walk out the door. Echo Boyd-Doe is now getting some snaps. They pulled him out of K-State from the UDFA pool. They're constantly bringing in these kids that can play. And, you get like quarterback you get cornerback you. The Chiefs are basically cornerback you at this point. Like, our DB scouts are very good at what they do. They know what Spags wants. They know what the position requires and what's asked of them, and they go find players to fill it. I wish our wide receiver scouts were a little better at that. And again, they may be doing exactly what they're instructed to do. This could all be Andy Reid, Brett Veach thing. Like, we want the short guys. We want the little guys, the Skyy Moore guys. Maybe that's what they're told to be doing. But good Lord, I wish we'd get out of it. I wish we'd get out of it just a little bit. What's up, Amira? She says, we won't be able to pay him. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I agree. She's a smart one, ladies and gents. She's a smart one. Let's take a few more. And then I'm going to bail out of here. Again, thank you guys for being here. Hit that like button. Check out some merch. Check out Foco. Help your boys out. Hit that sub button. Let's take a few more. Chief Kelsey says Sneed wouldn't be $99 million. That's how contracts work. He might get 4 years, $60 million signing bonus. Right. So if you add the numbers, I don't know. Yeah, they move it all around. I'm just saying, even at 4 years, $60 million, that's a lot. Again, we all know how Brett Veach likes to operate. He likes to back end everything. And then, before he pays you a lot of money, he cuts you. We've seen that one a lot. He's going to want to get paid. Somebody's going to pay him. I bet you he signed somewhere around 4 years. I'll say 3 years, 50 to 65 minimum. 4 years, somewhere between 60 and 75. Somewhere like that. That would be my guess. That's what I think. Gary, what's up, Gary? He says, if Spags will stay aggressive through the Super Bowl, teams won't score more than 17, making it much easier on our less than stellar offense, but the defense has to continue to carry us. Yes, we're a defensive team. We're a run team at this time. We just are. You never thought in a Patrick Mahomes era we would be a run team and a defensive-led team. But here we sit. And our next game's on Christmas. We're this deep in the season. This is who we are. I don't think it changes. I don't think that magically on Christmas, a Christmas miracle occurs and the Chiefs turn into the greatest show on turf. The Kurt Warner 2001 Rams. I'm not seeing it. Nothing there tells me that that's going to happen. Like, we are who we are. We're going to have to keep teams under 17 points. Our offense is going to struggle to hit that mid-20 mark. But if we can hit the mid-20 mark, almost just like the Buffalo game, whoever gets to that mid-20 mark should win the game, the majority. They're going to be nail-biters. They're going to be ugly, but that's the way it is. Our offense has to shoot for mid-20s, and if our defense can put some points on the board too, that'd be excellent. That'd be great. That can maybe push us over 30. But if the defense can even score some points and get us into the mid-20s, I think anybody in the mid-20s, at anywhere between 24 and 27, you're winning a majority of games. I think you win 75% of your games at that mark. If you hit 30 points, I think it now goes up to you probably win 80% to 90% of your games. If you was to eclipse 35 to 40, you're winning 100% of those, in my opinion, at this point with this defense. I don't see how you don't, unless the defense just quits. Or again, we've seen it time and time again. Officials in this league they run wild, they run rampant, they do what they want, they control what they want, they help spreads for Vegas. I'm pretty convinced of that one. There's no doubt about it. The NFL doesn't want to control it. The NFL wants no part of it. They leave the officials to be basically a separate enterprise that just does what they want, and then they can distance themselves because they won't pay them, they won't bring them in full time, and the NFL gets to wipe their hands of all the decisions, and you can't critique them either. You get fined. So that's a weird thing. You would think if you wanted that done right, you'd do it right. You can figure out a way to do it. So there's a very weird reason that the NFL just won't pay officials and make them full time. I think we can all figure out what that is. What's up, Ed? Ed says, can we trade Jones or Sneed in our first to Chicago for their 5th overall pick? I don't know. I don't know what the numbers on that would be. Off the top of my head, I would think Chicago wouldn't do it. A top 5 pick, I don't know. I don't think Chicago would do it. Again, you got to tag Chris Jones. So you got to tag Chris, and then you got to give up 2 first-round picks because Chris is not under contract. So they'd automatically lose their 5th-round pick, and then they lose one next year. Sneed's not under contract after this year. So you'd probably have to tag him. You can't tag them both. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know if you would trade. I don't think Snead's definitely not worth a 5th round pick. And I know you're getting ours back because you said our first, but our first is probably maybe this year. Just say we don't get to the Super Bowl, we get to the playoffs. We're picking somewhere after 25, so we'll say somewhere between 26 and 29. Snead and a 27th pick for the 5th overall. I don't know if that matches up. I mean, the Bears, they still need a franchise quarterback, let's be honest. So I don't see them doing it. But, I don't know. Sports fan, we should have kept Juju. A lot of people, I think they downplay what Juju meant to our offense. He's the only piece different, but our offense looks totally different. And it's because Mahomes, number one, first and foremost, knew Juju would be at the right spot. He trusted Juju to catch the ball. He trusted Juju to make the play. There was just trust there. That's all there was to it. There was just trust. And Juju, I think, somewhat was a leader in the locker room. It sounds weird because he was the TikTok guy and he's the dancer and the carefree whatever, but I think he brought a decent leadership quality. And I think there had to be something to do with the knee that we really feared is why we didn't do like a bigger contract with Juju because, again, Brett Veach coveted Juju for a little while. They were looking at him out of college. They were looking to maybe trade for him. And then when they finally got their hands on him, you get 1 year and you get a Super Bowl and a rebuild. In the first year of a rebuild and you bring in Juju, you finally got your hands on him and you get the Super Bowl. And then, boom, he's out. And he's out for less money than what they're paying MVS, basically. So there had to be something there that scared him. But, yeah. Let me take one more. Somebody give me a good one. And while I'm waiting for that to come through, I just want to thank you guys. We're at over 200 likes. I appreciate that. You guys stuck with me for an hour in the middle of your day. That's awesome. Let me know in the comments, what should I ask for Christmas? People keep asking. They say, Mike, what do you want for Christmas? I don't know. I can't think of anything. Tell me some good gifts. What's some good gifts I can ask for, man? Like, throw it in the comments. Like, what do you guys ask for? I'm an adult now, kind of, Like, I feel like once you become an adult, it's hard to think of good gifts. It's like I'm an adult. I buy what I want, to a certain extent. And then if it's that crazy, I ain't asking for it for Christmas because ain't nobody going to get it for me. So, yeah. I'm with you, Gary. I think just the Super Bowl ring. The Super Bowl ring. That's probably what it is. Okay, last question of the day. We're going to take it from Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards. Is this the Mike Edwards? Are you trying to figure out something here? Let's go. No, Mike, good to see you, brother. Hope you're subscribed. Last question of the day. Let's answer this bad boy. Let's give Mikey a good answer here. Let's see what's up. When are we going to start talking about Nagy being part of the problem? Oh, man, I picked the Nagy one. We miss Bieniemy more than people care to admit. I've got a lot to think about this. I'll start by saying this. The offense hasn't looked great under Matt Nagy. Okay, that's your caveat. But we also know this. Andy Reid does the majority of the play calling. Andy Reid designs the plays. Andy Reid calls the plays. And that's the way it was under Bieniemy too. They kept telling us Bieniemy wasn't calling plays. It's Coach Reid. Don't scream at Bieniemy. It's Coach Reid. So I don't know. I don't really know, and I don't think anybody knows just how much of a factor Nagy really has an effect on the offense and on the play calling. We don't. The only people that know that are the players and the coaches. Everybody else, we're just guessing. And I get it. When you're in a down season, people want to point fingers. You want to scapegoat. You want to go after somebody. I totally agree. I agree. That's what people do. It's human nature. And Nagy is fair game to critique the same as everybody. Dude, when Mahomes plays bad, I'll critique Mahomes. When Pacheco plays bad, I'll critique him. If Andy's having a bad day and he runs a stupid play call over and over again in the red zone or something, I'll call him out too. But with Nagy, I don't know. Here's what I can say about Nagy, 1,000%. Bieniemy was a hard ass, and Bieniemy liked to do things by the book. And I think Nagy allows the players to have a little more input, and he comes off more as a player's coach, whereas Bieniemy comes off more as a coach, don't piss me off kind of guy. And maybe that's what they needed. Maybe they needed a guy that's a little more stern to keep them in line and keep them on script more than they needed a friend that held their hand. Now, that's the only critique I can give you of Nagy. And I don't even know if that's true. I'm not sitting in the room. I'm not watching film with him. I'm not on the practice field with him. I can't even tell you that for sure. But from an outside perspective, that's how I feel like I perceive it. I feel like Nagy's a little more laid back, a little more of a friend guy, a little more, gives him a little leeway, lets Mahomes do what he wants. And Bieniemy, you've seen him go after Mahomes, and they had to have knockout dragouts on the sidelines because they want it done a certain way. And so I believe that's where you can critique it. I believe that's as far as I can critique it. I wish I could answer more for you, Mike, but I don't know. I really don't know how much Nagy is part of the problem. Look, if Nagy's not calling the plays, and Nagy's not designing the plays, and he's obviously not running the routes. He's not dropping the balls. He's not making some of the bad passes Mahomes has made. He's not false starting like Jawan Taylor. Like, he's not doing that kind of stuff. I don't know how much I can blame Matt Nagy. But again, I can blame him if he is responsible for all that, but we just don't know how much. So, I mean, it's a fair critique. Everybody can be critiqued. But the same with Connor Embry. Everybody's been on him too. And I was one of the first ones to bring that up way early in the year. I was like, isn't it weird we got a running back that has no experience doing our wide receiver room? But the more and more people started jumping on him, I'm like, well, look, he can't, like, he's not the reason Kadarius Toney decided that he don't know how to play football, like, all of a sudden. Like, he's not that reason. If anything, you almost blame that on Andy Reid. Connor Embry doesn't decide what his wide receiver rotation is and who he wants in on each package. Andy does that. Andy just took full blame over Richie James not getting as much snaps and said that's solely on him. So if Richie James gets more snaps and Richie James don't get more snaps, and that's on Andy Reid, then the Kadarius snaps, the Skyy Moore snaps, the MVS snaps, that's all going to Coach Reid. So he's the one responsible. Connor Embry's not the one being like, nope, we're going to keep putting them out there, I say. So I don't know how much these guys are responsible. I think at the end of the day, everybody has to look at themselves in the mirror. Every coach has to look at themselves, every player. You got to be smarter. You got to execute. And you got to say, hey, do we want to win a championship or do we want to keep making mental mistakes? Can I get my head in the game? Can I lock it in for the next month and a half? Can we do it? Can we win? How much does it mean to us? And I think just by finding out that little thing, that's going to go a long way. Nikki, will ACU be live later this week? Yes, we will be live probably tomorrow, Wednesday War Room. If something happens, we can't because Steve's work schedule. Steve works till 6 tomorrow, so we should be able to jump on a little after 6, even if I got to jump on for just a little bit and Steve joins me. We should have the Wednesday War Room tomorrow night from about 6 to 7, somewhere in that range. So yeah, you guys be sure to tune in tomorrow. Share this video with some friends if you don't mind. Hit that like button on the way out. Promote us to people on Twitter, Facebook, no matter where you are. Find us on Facebook. Find us on Instagram. Find us on TikTok. We're on all the platforms. Follow us. Throw us a like. Watch our videos. Hit the like button. Comment. That's free stuff. That's all you got to do to support. We appreciate it. If you want to support financially, we've got places to do that. We've got merch. You can find it on the description. You can check out FOCO. You got all the options. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. I do. I know Steve does. I'm sorry he couldn't be here. He's probably sad he's missing it. But hit that like button on the way out. Hit that sub button. And I appreciate you guys for being here. And with that being said, let's go Chiefs. There goes a sight from my soul.